Here's Jared Welch, RacingDudes.com, here with you to talk about what else? The Kentucky Derby. We are somehow almost to the 100-point races for the Kentucky Derby prep season. We're almost there, guys. At this point, it kind of feels like if we haven't seen them, we're not going to see them. You feel like what we've seen is what you get, and now you're trying to decide which one of these horses you like best. And so I'm going to give you I'll give you three, but really it's two and then maybe one more. 2.5, we'll call it, horses that I think can win the Kentucky Derby. These are the only three. These are the only three I think can win the Kentucky Derby, and it's as of March 6th, 2023. These are the three. We'll start with number one, and this is the easiest one of all time. Number one, Forte. Just coming off that impressive Fountain of Youth win. Of course, the first race we saw of him as a 3-year-old since the Breeders' Cup. Listen, I mean, if you don't have Forte as the top of your list, then you're making up reasons not to. Very impressive effort off the bench last out. Like I said, though, last weekend, he's the most likely winner by a margin at this point to win the Kentucky Derby. I think he's the most likely horse to win multiple legs of the Triple Crown. The Florida Derby's next. He should be even better than he was in the Fountain of Youth. And then he should be even better than that in the Kentucky Derby. I just haven't seen anything in this crop to threaten him necessarily, other than maybe the one I'm about to mention. But all he needed to do was come back and run well and show that he's still the horse that we thought maybe he was. And he nearly matched his career high at Beyer in the race off the bench. Should improve, like I said, moving forward. It's going to take a lot to beat him. I think he's the most consistent, the standard horse to beat. So Forte is definitely the one top horse to win that I think can win the Kentucky Derby. All right, number two, Arabian Night. He's undefeated. He's now with the Yak Team Barn, of course, Baffert horse, now switched over. I don't necessarily think that's going to be an issue. He's a Southwest Stakes winner. Arkansas Derby, San Antonio Derby next, one of those two. He's training right now for that. You know, there are issues with him, I think, in terms of being lightly raced, or, you know, how careful they've been with him. Seems like maybe they're not trying to, risk anything, so maybe he got some issues, so to speak. But from a talent perspective, I believe he might be the most talented, raw talent horse of the crop. So naturally, I think he is a very real potential winner of the Kentucky Derby. If he goes and runs well again in the Arkansas Derby, he's going to be tough to beat. And even aside from the fact that he won't be with Bob Baffert anymore, he'll be with Yak Team, I still think he can get it done. I think he's got the talent. So that's the biggest thing for me. Forte, definitely the standard. Arabian Night, I think he's the most talented, so naturally he should be one of the horses I think can win the Kentucky Derby. Now my last one, I told you I'd give you an extra one. It may not be who you think it was going to be. How about Tappet Trice? That's the horse. And listen, the reason why he's not a for sure horse is because we don't know yet. We'll find out this weekend. He runs in the Tampa Bay Derby for Todd Pletcher. Another two Todd Pletchers on my three here. Runs in the Tampa Bay Derby this weekend. No doubt about it. Don't even question it. He has to win this race. Obviously, he needs to win the race, but in order to be on this list, in order to be in like a top 10 list, he needs to win this race. This Tampa Bay Derby is going to be very, very weak. He should roll in this race. If he does and continues to look like he did, he won by 8 last time out. If he does that again, something similar, I see him being that horse that's progressing at the right time into the Kentucky Derby. I think Todd Pletcher might have the two best chances to win the Kentucky Derby. And now I know you're sitting there saying, dude, practical move, San Felipe winner, looked awesome, huge buyer. I get it. Don't just because I let him out doesn't mean I hate him. I like the horse. I thought he was very, very impressive in the San Felipe. I just am not ready to say he can win the Kentucky Derby. Just not ready to say that yet. So I think that he's gotten some dream trips. I think he's gotten the benefit of facing some maybe somewhat weaker competition. Not to take any credit. I think the San Felipe was a nice race. He did that easily. Go Rocket Ride, I think it's an okay horse, maybe top 10, but past that, like I just have a hard time believing that he can continue to run like he's been running when he goes to a mile and eighth, when he goes to a mile and a quarter. We'll see. He can prove me wrong. He's been proving me wrong each race. He'll have to continue to do it. But for now, he's not on my top 3 for horses I think can win the Kentucky Derby. So there you go. Let's hear it. Forte, Arabian Night, Tapit Trice. Those are my 3 that can win the Kentucky Derby as of March 6th. Who did I leave out? I know you're going to give me comments about Practical Move. Who else did I leave out? Make sure you leave those comments below. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Make sure you hit that notification button so you get alerted when we go live. We have tons and tons and tons of content related to the Kentucky Derby building up over these next few months. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. See ya.
RacingDudes.com is your home for the best free picks for every race, every track across the country. We're ramping up for the 2023 Kentucky Derby, and we want you to join us in the fun. Subscribe to Racing Dudes YouTube channel and click the notification bell so you never miss a single video. Want to make money betting horses? Bet with the Racing Dudes.